It's Tiff back again with another inspiration mood board collaboration page with my arty heart, Janine. Make sure once you get through checking out this video, you go check out and see what she did with the mood board. So this month I created the mood board as you saw at the beginning, and I've just laid out random supplies here that I thought would kind of springboard my page today. And I'm using my cardboard handmade journal. If you're interested in purchasing one, make sure you check the link below to my email and send me an email. I love this size journal. So now let's get in and get busy. So I am taking this extra wide masking tape, and I'm just going to go across the whole page. Now I'm doing this for two reasons. One is because this is a very old piece of sheet music. And it has some wear on it, which I really love, but I do not want the thing to fall apart as I am creating this page. So this is going to help toughen it up a little bit. And I'm also doing it because, as you see in the photo with the pink and white with that pop of blue door there, I think this is some type of storage building or warehouse, and the lines are going horizontal across. So that was kind of the reason I wanted to make those very subtle little things out of the inspiration board that I wanted to use in this particular page. So I'm going to go in here with some Americanas, I believe. This is chalk paint. So I wanted something from that actual storage building. It was a very neutral kind of light tan color at the bottom, and it also then had some peachy pink at the very top of it. So I'm using that to kind of springboard the palette for me and kind of show me and tell me where this page wants to go. Now, I will tell you, I did have a dream. That sounds so silly. I had a dream about this page. And so I did kind of have an idea as to where I wanted to go. And what I'm showing you here is I'm taking that bluish green out of these beautiful, beautiful eyes that this young lady had that was an eye on our page. And I'm using it to kind of catapult the color with that teal, because in my world, peach and teal and this beautiful beige, you just cannot go wrong, okay? So, back to my dream. I did have a dream about this page, and it was a night where all I dreamed about was doing art. Does anybody else have that happen to them? I woke up and I had done so much art journaling, and I jumped up, got out of bed. Thank goodness I was off that day, and I got into the studio and I just worked. And so it was kind of funny that I had dreamed this board up. But I'm taking the numbers there. As you see in the bottom corner of the vision board, there is our inspiration board, mood board, whatever you want to call it. There's those numbers. And behind those numbers, if you look really close, you will see that there is crackle. You know I loves the crackle. So the black and white numbers, and then it has the white crackle behind those numbers. So what I'm doing is going ahead and putting some Deco Arts Media crackle paste down. If you've tried crackle paste before but you've never tried Deco Arts, it is the best crackle a crackle can get. So this is a really good crackle paste. You should try it. I think they if you look down below, you'll see a link to my Amazon storefront, and I believe there's a separate link out there for the Deco Arts. It's not super expensive. I think the golden runs about $17, and I want to say this runs about $6 or $7. So the thing with the crackle paste is you want to let it start natural. Okay, you want to let the natural drying process happen before you heat it up. Now, what I'm doing is I took some copies. Okay, these are not original vintage photos, but I took some copies and printed them onto photo paper. And I'm taking, as you saw there, that sanding board. My friend Michelle gifted me that because I always am needing and using sandpaper. And so this is a super easy way to do it, but I'm just like crinkling it up, giving it some ruggedness like an old photo actually would look, right? And if you look, excuse me, if you look back into the inspiration board there, and if you notice, I use inspiration, mood, and vision board all for the same thing. Goodness gracious, my allergies this morning. Sorry. A gulp of coffee should fix that. Excuse me. So I am going in here and I'm just getting crazy and wild and making this thing look really old like the original pictures did. Now, if you look on the mood board, you will see that those photos that were hanging from that chair, those photos were very warm. Like I like zoomed in on it, and I was really pulling out all the inspiration I could out of this board. So one of the things I noticed too is from the brown chair to the brown edges of the photo, we needed to add some distress inks. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going in and I'm taking that distress vintage photo, ironic, and I'm just taking a little bit of water on my finger and kind of moving it around because this is photo paper. So don't hesitate to get it wet. Tear the edges off a little bit because these photos are really old, right? And old photos are not going to look pristine. And so what I'm doing is just grunging them up a little bit, making them look a little more natural and giving them a little color to it. So I'm going to go through a process here that's going to take me a minute, but I really think that the benefits of doing this in the end project that you'll see, the page, it just really kind of made the photos pop. So if you have some old pictures and you don't want to use the original, scan those babies in, print them, and then get down and grunge them up. I love how it looks whenever you take that sandpaper to it, and any old sandpaper will work, okay? The finer grit, a little bit more rubbing you have to do, but don't be hesitant to grab those and kind of work it out over there, okay? And so I am going to end up having, this is still not dry, so I'm going to end up having to dry it a little bit. But while I was waiting on it to dry, if you look at the vintage photo picture with the bowls and the chair and all that, there's a string that connects all of those photos together, and that is what I'm trying to convey here. And I ended up catching a little bit of hell, okay, trying to do this. So I ended up cutting, I think, part of this part out because it was just I'm not really I'm not really good or efficient when it comes to needles and thread, and I ended up getting myself all entangled within the thread there. So yeah, I just went ahead and cut that out. So all I'm doing is I'm connecting all of the photos with, I wanted some gap in the thread, so I wanted you to be able to see here I go, I flipping just pulled the thing out. Yeah. We want to skip through that. But all I'm doing is connecting all of those threads and leaving a little bit of the thread showing. And I'm going to zoom in here so you can see the crackly crackle. And I'm taking a blending stump that has a little charcoal on it. I'm going to take my Lyra graphite stick because I'm wanting to pull up some of that texture from the masking tape. And I'm also wanting to pull some of those crackles up, the crackle in the back. So that's what I'm doing here, is just taking that, rubbing that graphite pencil on it and just letting that kind of grunginess. You know, I love a little grunge. It was a little bit too clean for me. So I'm grunging it up with the graphite, with the blending stump, and just kind of making it stand out a little bit. So bear with me as I do that. I'm also going to take um, a wet paintbrush, and that Lyra graphite stick is water soluble. Hope you didn't get drunk there, people. And I'm taking that and I'm just kind of messing it up and getting it a little darker in spots. And then I'm going to take my paint rag, which is actually just muslin cloth, and I'm going to go in and I'm just going to darken some of the areas because I just felt like it was just a little bit too crisp and clean for Tiff. Now, what you will see, the side effects from that crackle paste, cracking and doing and drawing its thing, is you see the corners and the paper begin to kind of shrivel up. See how it starts bending in? I love that. So I'm going to kind of use that. I just love it. I don't know why. I'm just weird like that. And here I'm going to pop up the photo again where I have taken and randomly threaded all of these papers together. Okay. And I am being a little bit mindful in my composition. I wanted to have an odd amount of photos. So you do see 5 here. And as you see, the threads on the back, I just put masking tape on there so I could tighten them up or loosen them up. Well, I realized once I laid that down that I was going to have that a little bit tight, so I just cut the thread. And I think there is so many things, little subtle things that I started thinking about as I was doing this. Like, these people, I don't know if they were really related or not, but sometimes you have to kind of cut the thread. People who have children, their children get grown, and so they kind of cut the thread to allow them to have their own family and relationship. So, as I was going through this, I was creating little stories in my head, which is something, if you know me, is kind of my thing. If I see people out in public, I love to people watch, and I create my own stories up. Goodness. It's a circus in here, people. It's a circus in here. But I'm just gluing those down with some gel matte medium, and I'm getting them good and stuck down. And it took a little maneuvering, and I'm also going in here with the Distress Vintage Photo because I wanted to make some darker areas of this. Now looking back, okay, we're not gonna do that. Looking back on this, I was thinking maybe the threads could have been darker, like I could have went with a darker color. But hindsight's 2020. If I did it again, I would probably try it with a darker color just to see if I like it, because I wish the threads would have stood out a little bit more. But that's neither here nor there. We're already too far gone. It's fine. It's just in my art journal. Remember, no stress. And I'm going to go in here because I'm Tiffany and I like to make scribbles, and I'm kind of connecting these. When connecting, I'm using air quotes right now, but I'm kind of loosely connecting the photos with some very light scribbly marks. And I'm going in here with a little bit more peach, and I thought that was too much, so I'm kind of wetting that and going to pick it up with my paint rag there. And then I thought about maybe adding a little rust dyed fabric, and I opted out on that. I wanted to take and vintagey grunge that little area up around it. And I'm looking here at the photo as you see it on the page, and just making sure that everything that I wanted to incorporate, I have the numbers, I have the crackle, I have the all of those things. And we also wanted to encourage you, me and Janine, we do this once a month. We would love it if you wanted to play along and use the inspiration mood board that we created and go and make a page of your own. Make sure that you use our hashtag so we can see it. I just wrote some in another time because that's what these photos kind of reminded me of. And I wrote it out on some masking tape that I stuck to a piece of plastic so I could pull it off. And then I just made some messy handwriting. And I'm going to call it a day, guys. I'm going back in here and I just wanted to make a few of those numbers that I had stamped out pop a little bit. So I'm going in here with my China marker. I am so glad you spent the last 15 minutes with me rambling about this amazing inspiration board. I hope that you decide to play along with us. And until next time, guys, toodaloo! Don't forget, you can find my Instagram and my email and my Facebook page right down below. And I hope that you share this with your friends and family. Go check out Janine. Show her what you think about her page. And until next time, guys, toodaloo!